This episode of Legendary is brought to you by Warby Parker. For free 3-day shipping, just head on over to warbyparker.com/gamebreaker.
Gamebreaker TV.
Man, you know what I just realized, everybody? We're going to have a new intro soon. What? Yeah, we're going to have a new intro pretty soon, aren't we now? All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Legendary episode 159 for February 6, 2014. You're watching Game Breaker. I'm Gary Gandy. Coming up on today's show, we've got a release date for the patch 547. Siege gets the mythic treatment, and subscriber numbers are up. Joining us from SoCal. I'm in SoCal, even though you can't tell. Look at this sweater I'm wearing. Like, I feel like am I living in Wisconsin with this thing?
Nice.
Olivia D. Grace, you brought the English weather with you. It's raining here.
I have. I thought I'd bring you some rain because, you know, it's a desert and, yeah, save you some money on irrigation.
See, it rains here, and then I have to put, like, I bundle up. It's LA. It's like
like,
not
you'd be
even
wearing a balaclava and fingerless gloves and, like a hood.
any chance I can get. Joining us as well, Olivia, your audio's a little low. I want to check it.
Okay, let me fix that.
Joining us as well from Convert the Raid, Mr. Pat KRANE. How are you, sir?
You should live here, Gary. It's 3. then you would need that damn sweater, and it would make sense. But
It
no,
would
you
make
live in
It would make
You
perfect
live in-
sense if I lived there. Just
right,
3.
right. It's
3.
just 3.
I feel like you would still need the sweater at 3 if you need it at like whatever it is.
Yeah, and I'm in short sleeves, and it's 3.
Go figure. And I'm checking the weather right now. It's a
It's something along those
54.
lines.
It's 54.
54.
Right
Oh boy, that is chilly.
Oh, that
is
is
chilly.
It is a little bit chilly, yeah.
It's a brisk 54.
Oh.
But yeah, it's raining in SoCal. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's like, what? Everyone's like running around, like preparing
Don't
to get into
drive.
the
Don't-
world.
if you're
The
from
sky
Southern
is literally
California.
falling.
Yeah, do not drive in Southern California when it rains,
Yeah.
just because everything comes to a screeching halt.
It was like,
To be
dude, I
like-
have wipers. I have wipers on my car somewhere. Where are they? What even is this?
Takes me about, I'd say normally takes me probably about between 12 and 15 minutes to get from the house to the office. Today it took me about an hour and 50 minutes. Yeah.
What? Really?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
no, I'm no joke. It like drizzles here in
Wow.
LA, and people do like 2 miles an hour. Traffic everywhere. It's ridiculous. And I'm from the East Coast. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Just drive. You know, just veer
Right.
and crash off the road like something. some suddenly your car is just gonna take a turn to the left and hit a ditch. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
Mhm.
Why are we talking about the weather?
I don't know.
don't know.
I have no idea.
This is what people do.
'Cause
All right,
your
first
damn
up this
sweater.
week. It is. It's just all this damn sweat. This is like my Jedi robe. I could get this. I should wear this in like Halloween. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Wrong show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Should have worn this. Yeah, I do look like Anakin or something. I didn't notice that. I should have worn this in the Republic. First up this week, big news. The subscriber numbers for World of Warcraft went up. Wow.
Huh?
Not by a
Who saw
huge
that
amount, but
coming?
still 200,000. Hey, I take 200,000 viewers on this show. So it's kind of a big
Yep.
number. It's a big number. That's not that small.
It's a big number. It's
Like
a really
there
big
are
number.
MMOs that would be happy with 200,000 players,
Right.
and they
Yeah.
went up for. But it's funny because they went up 200,000, and we're sort of like, oh, it's not a big number. Went up 200,000. All right, so kind of a big deal.
Well, I guess 200,000 isn't a huge number when you have 7.6 million subscribers.
It's a big
But
number,
it's still a
though.
huge number. It's still a huge number. Like if you had $7.6 million, $200,000 is still a big number. Like
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't make it any less of a huge number.
Last number we heard, what was 7.6 million back in 2013 at some point. So now they're up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big
Mm-hmm.
increase, especially for a 10-year-old game. I think what's
For
really
sure.
kind of interesting, what do you guys attribute this to? Because we've been doing the show for quite a while. We've gone through the expansion hype train, and when we see the influx of people even come watch the show, and then it wanes off,
Right.
and then it
Mhm.
but I don't feel like we're in the like everyone is super excited for Warlords yet mode. It seems like it's too far away.
Well, I think one of the big things was BlizzCon, right? I mean, BlizzCon is kind of the reason a lot of this happened. At least that's my opinion, especially with all of the different announcements to make it a little bit more friendly to new players coming in, and we can talk about the 90, the upgrade to 90 or the boost to 90 system that they're planning on putting in, but just all the different systems that are going to make it so much more friendly to those guys coming into the game for the first time, or those returning players. And I think maybe that's where the majority of that 200,000 number comes from, returning folks saying, you know what, I can jump in, I can play with friends, I'm in.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's good to remember that this is actually a 2013 quarter number. This is for the fourth quarter of 2013. So it's October, November, December 2013. So we've got various factors. We've got the announcement of Warlords, which is, although we didn't see an up, I don't believe, for the announcement of Mists, I think we saw an up for the release, maybe? But anyway.
Yeah, it was the last time we saw a really big up number from Blizzard was summer before Mists of Pandaria, when they got, I think it was like almost 1 million players or something like that, somewhere around
so
there.
was that with Mist? Was that with the Mist announcement then, or was that with the annual pass? Or
that was with the 3 months previous to Mists of Pandaria releasing.
Right. So the build up to Mist. So
but
exactly.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's when we sort of knew when the release was actually going to hit, right? Like we had more. I feel like we had a lot more information then. That's why I'm saying this like feels so early, and I'm like, is this really all just from BlizzCon? Like, I mean, this 200,000 players probably just paid for BlizzCon, so I can't,
Yeah, for sure. That's no bad thing. Like we hadn't had a BlizzCon for 2 years. So maybe there's an element of that. The announcement of Warlords has come with a ton of exciting stuff, like Pat was talking about, for new players. There's a bunch of exciting things going in. Like the response to the Warlords announcement has been really positive. It could be patch 5.4 that was released during that period. And you've also got to remember, excuse me, that we had the $4.99 sale for the battle chest for a lot of that period, which made it really good for refer a friend. Like I know I referred some friends. They were all me. I don't have any friends. But, there's going to be an element of that. Like, it wouldn't surprise me at all if a bunch of people were like, oh, let's do a refer a friend. And that has had, well, I don't think 200,000 people would have done that. Like, I can't, like, maybe that's some of those accounts that have come back in. And, we've got additions like the in-game store, which could have been a big deal for Asia as well. Like, maybe that's tempted some Asian players in, some Asian players back. And I'm trying to think, like, what else is, like, it's kind of hard to think back. Like, there's been so much happening since then that it's hard to remember what actually took place. But there's a bunch of stuff that happened in Q4 13 that could well have.
Because the thing is, I feel like at around this time, I have a terrible memory, but I feel like at around this time back before Mists, all we were doing was bitching about Firelands, and really and everyone was pretty much just like bored and just like, oh my god, nothing to do. When is it going to come out? And now it's like there's not a whole lot. I mean, if this is going this well right now, a 200,000 increase, like with I feel like everybody feels like there's no undercurrent of like insane excitement. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen when we actually hear about the Warlords pre-purchase? My God, like.
I think there's going to be another bump. I really, really do. I think there's going to be another.
I think a really, really big bump.
Yeah, and I don't know whether it's going to be a really big bump until Warlords actually comes. Like, I'm going to be super interested to see what's going to happen, because obviously you've got the free 90 at the point that the pre-purchase takes place. You don't have to wait for the expansion release.
And that's
for that.
big. That's so
big. It's huge. It's huge. Like the amount of people who I've been chatting to. Like I know a bunch of people who play WoW, but I also know a bunch of people who used to play WoW. And for those people, just the attraction of being able to come back and jump straight back in with their friends is like, Blizzard keep going on about it, and we sort of go, yeah, I heard it before. But that is a huge deal. Like, that is a massive
How
thing.
in the know? Like, I know this is like a small subset of like, we're just talking about like your friends, but this is completely scientific and accurate data.
Yeah, the pure anecdote is data.
Do a lot of your I'm asking both of you guys, like, do a lot of their like outside friends who maybe used to play WoW and haven't been playing recently, are they dialed in and even knowing about this new deal that they're doing with the level 90?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I think a lot of people have actually come to. It's not so much me going to them and saying, "Oh, hey, by the way, Warlords of Draenor will bring a free 90 with it," but they've actually heard about it through gaming media or through like, "Oh, I wonder what happened at BlizzCon. Oh, there was a BlizzCon. I used to play that game. I have a passing interest in this." And the big announcement from BlizzCon was Warlords, and the big announcement from Warlords was a free 90. So I do feel like people have been coming to me and saying, "Oh, hey, is it true that we get like a free level 90 with Warlords? Is that a thing?" And I, then gone to them and said, "Yeah," and you actually get it with a pre-purchase, so you can play while that's max. And I think this while that's max level, that's a big deal. Like you can actually get a max level character while it's still currently max level, and just jump straight in and play with your friends.
Do you guys think it's gonna be? Do you think it's gonna be part of their like big marketing plan? Like, do you think that's gonna be like the messaging? Get back and play with your friends.
Yeah,
like, literally, like
absolutely.
right up front.
This is gonna be their lead. I mean, this is their way back because they have more people that used to play WoW than are actually playing it now, right? So if they can get those guys back, any portion of those guys back, then it's a win for them. It's a total win. So I mean, why wouldn't they market to people that have already played the game and liked it enough to subscribe? Yeah.
I mean, we saw the infographic. You spoke about it last week. Like the infographic, 100 million accounts have been created in this game. Like that's a lot of accounts. Like obviously the account to player ratio is not necessarily 1-to-1. I know that I have had 5 or 7 like accounts over my player life, but that's still a lot of people. It's if they can 10 those back, it'd be great.
I think the buy a 90 is going to increase subs dramatically. Like I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna take like have to wait all the way until getting Warlords. Right. I think the pre-purchase. I think the buy a 90. I think if they put some marketing around this and get the word out, which I'm sure they're going to. I have to see this really just putting them on an uptick like now month over month until release.
And Gary, they've never been known to put money behind any release at all.
Never.
For exposure. No.
Yes. They're kind of like Riot. They don't even there's no advertising.
They don't have any money for it. It's fine.
It's no money. That's why Greg left. He got tired of eating like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that Zarheim brought him for lunch every day. He's like, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Done. I do think with the pre-purchase free 90, I think that's definitely a driver for a new subs. I think the buyer 90 is going to depend so much on pricing. Like if they price it too high, like then people are going to just think, oh, well, this is I could buy a 90 in Warcraft, or I could buy another game. Like if they go that far with it, where you could actually buy. I mean, I don't know. Do we have numbers for pricing on WildStar yet? Like, do we have an idea of what that's actually going to cost up front?
No, but
Elder Scrolls is going to be.
We have to guess it's going to be.
Elder Scrolls is going to be 60.
Yes, we have to. We have to guess that it's going to be the same.
Yeah,
maybe
why would it not
50, but a $49.95. But I'm going to guess maybe a $59.95. That's why when we talked about the price for this thing, I say they have to come in lower. I know that you guys are trying to do the math and come in with the equations that actually make sense. I'm just saying from a psychological standpoint, I think it's got to, like you said, I think it's got to be slightly cheap. If it's even remotely close to some of the prices that we've talked about in the past, I think you're gonna have, just like you said, people are gonna go like, I could get a 90, or I could go buy this other MMO and try
it. Yeah.
I might go try this other MMO.
Yeah, which would you like? I love WoW, and I'm likely to buy a 90, depending, like maybe 2, depending on the cost of it. But if I was someone who was looking at coming back to WoW, whether that buy a 90 would be as big a pull if it was more expensive, I'm not so sure. Like the free one is definitely a big pull. The free one is definitely going to pull people in. But if they pitch it so it's like, oh, I could buy this, or for another $10, I could buy Elder Scrolls Online, then that's way more of a neutral equation, in my opinion. I think people who are currently playing the game will totally shell out for it, even if it is 50. I mean, I think it needs to be 35, 40. That's my number.
Because you teed me up so perfectly, this wasn't really planned, but I have to tell everybody that you can save 20% off on Elder Scrolls Online. If you're going to buy it, just go to offergb.com/ESO.
Nice.
No joke. It's got 20% off right now.
That's a nice saving.
It is. It's like $20.
Sure. Yeah. It's a good amount of money. I might do that instead of buying a 90.
You'll start thinking about it. Like that starts happening.
Well, that's
you know?
it. You know,
Take the
that's
savings
it.
there. Take the savings from there. Invest it into another total different game completely.
Yeah.
Sure, let's do that.
Yep, it's going to be interesting. Like
You
I
think
swear,
90s
yeah,
are
I don't know whether it's.
I can't. 90s have to be less than $20.
They're not going to be less than $20, lad. There's no way they're going to be less than $20. I reckon they're going to be 30. My number's around 35, 40. Like
And I'm thinking probably around 30 to 35, but 35 would be like the max. I think that they could.
You think the 35 is going to be the maximum they can get away? But
it depends.
Is it like a faction transfer 35 on US?
It is.
Or 30?
Well, a faction transfer plus the alliance change, faction transfer, server transfer is 55.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
I had to do that a couple of times when we moved over to Airy Peak, so that was really great.
Wow, I think because I feel like I looked at this and I feel like the cost of a faction transfer even by itself is 35. So based on that, I feel like it has to be like either the same as that or more than that. I don't feel like it can be less than 35 because then it's cheaper to buy a whole new character than it is to faction transfer. And that just seems dumb.
Well,
hey, they could bring the rest of the services down, but we all know that's not going to happen.
Right. Well, a part of me thinks that they're going to probably do a price adjustment on a lot of different things, and maybe those upper end prices
Do you think they're going to?
may I don't know. I would certainly hope so, especially if this buy a 90 thing really takes off. Then they'll have to figure out exactly where all these different pieces kind of fall. Obviously, mounts being $25, that's a thing that people are still buying. So I'm sure that they feel like that $35 is nothing for WoW fans.
Yeah,
but.
like looking at chat room, people are saying if the expansion is 40 like it normally is, you get a free 80. I guess you mean 90 with the expansion. It won't be more than 40. Kind of agree with that. But you've got to consider the fact the transfer cost into that as well. So you have to buy that expansion on another account and then transfer it over. You can't buy it, as far as I know, you can't buy it twice on one account. Someone else is saying 50, 55. It's not 55.
You know what they'll do? Like we'll spend hours and hours like contemplating this, and then they're gonna come out with some like totally sideways deal that we never thought of, and it's just gonna be like, what? That's annual pass. Like it was like the annual pass came out, and you were like, what? All right.
What?
Well,
yeah.
It's all WoW economics, right?
It is WoW economics, and we're all just like we could talk all day about how much character these 90 boosts are going to cost. We could literally talk all day about it. It is not going to be $9.99 WA spacebar. That is a number it is not going to be. It's going to be 35, 40. No more than like if it's over 50, 2 will be $100.
She can't stop talking about it. She can't.
I can't. I'm obsessed. I'm literally obsessed.
Well, she said we could talk about this all day, and now she's proving it.
She's walking through the entire thing. She's like, what am I doing with my characters? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I got to buy 2. I got to buy 2. That's $100.
I'm in the position where I've got this new, like I started a US account, I want to say like 5-6 months ago now. I've already got 3 90s and an 85. And I'm like, right. I'm gonna be like, right, what am I gonna do next? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna boost? I'm gonna boost a maid because I'm already at level 60. I've got a level 66 paladin that's gonna be level normally to 90 because it's a tank and it'll go quickly. And I'm just like, I'm working it out of my head.
Gary, you can't see this on her camera, but she's got a whiteboard off to the side, and it's like it's got lines and
strat. It's like a flow chart. She's got strategy.
Weird.
Like it is.
She's really thinking it out, man.
I know.
She's really
invested. All right, so we kind of have a release date, I guess, for 5.4.7, patch 5.4.7. So there's an official blog post giving players the 2-week warning for the end of the current PvP season. And our buddy Mr. Holinka said before that the release of the patch would coincide with the end of the season. I mean, I don't know if I'd call this 100% confirmation. I don't know. It's pretty rough, but it's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, like we saw patch 5.4. I think patch 5.4 was pushed back like maybe a week. I can't remember if it was a week or 2 weeks. But it was pushed. Patch 5.4 was pushed back. So we definitely don't like. There's not spot on like 100% definitely confirmation here. But it's sort of like it seems likely that this is going to be when it happens. It's not like 100% at all, no.
And they do say as soon as 2 weeks, right?
Exactly, yeah. As soon as, like, not definitely 2 weeks, like as soon as 2 weeks. It could be that soon, so get your ducks in a row for the end of the PvP season, for titles, all of that stuff, but don't assume that it's going to be definitely bang on 2 weeks.
Right.
I'm looking at him. Whole link is tweeting in chat. I'm wondering, is it a tweet? I wish I could.
He's looking at trying saying a tweet he wishes.
A tweet I wish I could delete from the internet forever. That is that is straight up.
Yeah.
But before we get into all the other stuff and what it might bring, what do you say this means for PvPers?
This is awesome for PvPers. Like I was so excited for this from a PvP perspective. This gives us a chance to like every time a season resets, particularly for a bit of an alcoholic like me, this means that you can stockpile honor and you can get a sort of what's the one I'm looking for? A leg up on the gearing for the next season. So you can get into better gear, you can fill in those gear gaps from the stuff that you don't have yet. What's more, it's getting up, like we're getting a PvP item level that is 550, and it's going to be it's going to be 522 for the lower level stuff, which is awesome because PvP gear might be the best of all PvP again. It's not going to get
about time.
Gear anymore because I will kill you all.
Wow. PvP flowchart is on the other side.
Yeah. To-do list, kill you all. That's right.
Are there any big balance changes? Are there any big balance changes coming?
We're seeing some tweaks. We're definitely starting to see some tweaks. Like we're getting towards that point in the patch 5.4.7 PTR. Like we saw a change come in just today for Heart of the Wild for Druids, which is quite a big deal. Like that's the thing that allows Druid healers to do crazy damage.
But that's just for PvP, right?
It's pretty much, it's not like it's just a PvP power interaction change, basically. So instead of giving Druids... Instead of giving Druids an additional, like their PvP power again, 100% of the PvP power, it actually is just giving them 50%. So it's much less insane. And I think we've seen some warrior changes. We've seen some warrior changes put back.
Right.
We've seen a few warrior changes, a couple of Druid changes. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some more little tweaks coming in before the actual patch launch.
Right.
Is there any way, like, can you guys take any of the data that we have and kind of maybe dial into maybe a bit more of an accurate release date? I mean, how long have previous seasons been?
Okay, well, hold on a sec, because I have something to say about this. And first of all, I just want to say, since he's not here, that Shaftnet may have been right.
Oh, I thought you were going to leave him alone. He's not even here. See, he's not here to...
may have been right. No, he may have been right. So normally what it...
now he's going to call in, probably.
Yeah,
exactly. But I think that from previous tweets and insights from people like Brian Holinka, he said that 20 weeks feels about right. And so if we say that the next PvP season is about 20 weeks, we end up somewhere in August. And yeah, I think so.
Have you mapped this out?
I looked at the calendar and I did it.
You did it.
I used a calendar.
You did it.
I used a calendar and I counted to 20.
Oh, so because the season would end on the 18th of February. As soon as the 18th of February, let's give Brian some props here. So 1, 2.
Sure. So we're looking at around August-ish. So not September, but which is what Shaft said, August, September. It looks like it's probably going to be August-ish.
See, I count that to like July. Am I just being stupid?
Well, it's the end of July, early August, right?
Okay, we'll call it late July, early August.
So,
I don't know. I feel like I'm fine with that. Like we had the last the whole of Dragon Soul was encompassed by a 38-week.
Hold on 1 second. Shaftness just wants to say, thanks, Pat.
See, I don't know. I'd say Magic Man's done the counting in chat, and I come up with like July, August with 20 weeks as well. I think that might be a little bit optimistic. I'm still feeling July. Like hopefully.
Well, and that's it. And that all depends on when this whole thing releases, and that's assuming that 20 weeks is actually a thing, and that's all that kind of fun stuff. But it puts us late summer.
Yeah, it's late summer. Well, I mean, it depends when you like. Is it official summer? Like, when does official summer end? Like autumn equinox or something? But it's it could be. I still feel July, August. I don't feel September. I'm not buying September.
No.
September's
I don't
too
buy
late.
September. Yeah.
Like it's got to be July, August. So I don't know. These seasons have lasted for such different lengths of time. Like they're all over the place. The shortest PvP season was like 17 weeks, I think. And then like the longest has been like 40 odd.
Yeah.
Like back in like, I can't remember exactly when that was, but it was back in like, I think it was late 2016.
See, now you're all excited about the PvP season, and I'm taking a look at the raid going, damn it, Blizz,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Because here's my big beef with this whole thing, right? So all throughout Mists of Pandaria, we keep on getting faster and faster raid releases, right? So it seems like every couple of months they have a new patch. Every 4 months you have a new raid. And now with this one, we're going to have how long before we get a new raid?
The amount of times that people have been saying, like we've been talking about this on Legendary as well, through the expansion, saying, oh, is content coming too fast? Is content coming too fast? And now all of a sudden we're going to have like 10 months of Siege. Like admittedly, Siege is a far better raid than Dragon Soul.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you at all there. I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, and I don't, like, for clarity, I definitely don't disagree with you either. Like, just, like, why did they not just spread these patches out a bit more? Because there were people not unreasonably. I don't feel like, I mean, what's your take? Like, Pat, Gary, what do you, like, were the people saying it was coming too fast being unreasonable? Or was it coming a bit too fast?
I don't know. I mean, not being internally, it could be like a million things, right? It could be like timelines changing. It could be like the content changes. It could be like how the teams have to shift and working on warlords. It could be that they have no freaking idea what to do with warlords and they're just trying to figure it out. I mean, could be like a million things, right? Like, it could be like, hey, we thought something was going to work and now it's not working and they're scrambling. Like, you have to pull people off. Who knows? It could be, I don't think we could ever figure out why they delay stuff like that. But you want it to just be like, well, hey, if you know you're going to have, X number of patches, just break them up incrementally so we get one and it's always consistent. Never seems to work like that. I don't think game development is that consistent.
And the other thing, too, is I find, at least from, history anyway, it seems like the Blizzard developers really like to figure out exactly what people think of the current raid before they move on. I mean, of course, they're building assets and stuff like that, and they've built story, but before they really try to finalize pieces of the next patch, whatever it may be, they try to look at all of the feedback that they're getting. So, I mean, it's tough to go, all right, they really like this. Let's go to this. Let's go to this. Let's go to this. Okay, now we're at the last one, and we've got an expansion coming up. Okay, what do we? What do they?
Yeah, think? I suppose like going from 5.0 to 5.1, like they know they kind of said that they had 5.1 kind of set in stone already, so they couldn't change it away from basically being some more daily quests. And then like 5.2 was a bit more of a shift, so they could have taken. I feel like they could have taken more time between 5.1 and 5.2 personally, and definitely between 5.2 and 5.4.
Well, and a lot of people were saying that, considering a lot of normal raiders, of course, the heroic raiders, those guys, the world first guys, they don't give a crap. They just go through their stuff.
Anyway, they're done in 2 weeks.
But I think for the rest of the people, the other 99% of folks, that the way that the raids came out was actually pretty fast, especially between Throne of Thunder and Siege of Orgrimmar. It was pretty fast because there were a lot of bosses in there, and and some of those folks that were, struggling on 10-man normal Horadon, they didn't necessarily finish Throne of Thunder before Siege came out, and so it's kind of one of those things where it was really fast, and now we're having to wait, and so
for sure.
I wish that they could even it out, but
all that said, is it possible? Does this mean we're going to get Warlords and buy a 90 in 2 weeks?
The pre-orders, you mean? I can see it happening. Like there's, the level 90 upgrade system is being tested on the PTR. Like it is there. It's on the PTR. You can see like floating all over the web. There's various different screenshots of the system in action. Like it's not. I can't get it to work for love nor money. It just throws errors for me constantly. So it's definitely not quite ready yet, but it's there. It's testable. Like Pat, you were able to test it, I believe, weren't you?
No. No, I was not. No.
You weren't actually able to get a 90 to work.
No, I actually have not spent. I have not spent a lot of time on the PTR this time around. So
fair. No, but there's definitely there's people who've got it to I don't think anyone's actually logged into their 90 upgraded 90 and been able to play it. But people are able to go through the whole thing. That's how we found out about this veteran bonus thing that you're talking about last week. So it's there. So I think that it's either definitely going to be the pre-orders and the free 90 or the buy a 90. And I'd be really surprised if they went buy a 90, pre-orders plus free 90. Like if they did it in that order. To me, that just seems odd. Like I'd be really surprised if they did that. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe we will get pre-orders in 2 weeks. I would like it. I would like my 90 now.
I think everyone would like it. That could be interesting. So maybe 2 weeks time. I don't know.
And be able to get your friends back into the game and be able to just, you know, hey, come on, play with me. You get free 90. Hey, let's go. Whatever.
Yep.
So that'd be great.
And then we'll be talking about the uptick again.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
All right, we got some really cool, interesting rating stuff to talk about. But first, I want to tell you about a sponsor. I am super, super happy about a new sponsor here on Legendary. I really can't tell you how excited I am for the sponsor. I don't know if you guys knew, but over the holiday break, did you guys know this? Did you guys know they got glasses over the holiday break? Or the Christmas vacation?
I saw you with them on before the show.
Yeah, I've noticed you wearing them in pre-show. You're not wearing them during the show, though.
Well, I don't wear them too much. Well, they're for reading, but like over the past, like, you know, first of all, don't get old because getting old really sucks. And no, really quickly. So over the course of like 6 months, all of a sudden, like I'd be like looking at my iPhone, and all of a sudden I'd be like doing this and doing this. My wife's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, I'd be like holding my iPhone like out here, and I'm like, I can't see anymore.
Longer arms.
I've had
longer
vision.
arms. That's what's wrong.
I've had perfect vision my entire life, and all of a sudden my nearsightedness started going. So I finally went down to the lens crafter's place, you know, the local spot, and got my eyes done and checked and all this stuff, and I got glasses. But I gotta say, honestly, like it was a terrible experience because I don't even really like these glasses all that much, and I couldn't find. So I got the eye exam was fine, whatever, got that all done, and then I was looking around. I was like, I was trying on frames, and I was like, I really didn't like anything in the store, and I was like, you know, maybe I'll just take my prescription. I'll go find a pair like somewhere else. I'll come, you know, whatever. And this woman was just relentless. Like she was relentless. She like would not leave me alone. It's like this guy is walking out of this place with a pair of glasses no matter what. So I found a pair of sunglasses that I thought were okay, and I was like, "Can you make these into glasses?" And she's like, "Yeah, no problem." So anyway, long story short, then they were $300. Like I was like, "What?"
Wow.
The frames.
Welcome to the world of eyewear.
Well, here's the crazy thing though. The frames were like $100, and then they were gonna be like something like 400 something with like anti-glare and this that, and I almost fell out of my chair, and then like they ended up giving me like, you know, the no glare, the no this, the no coating, $300. Anyway, long story short, it was a terrible experience. So when I actually got the call about this company, they're called Warby Parker. They told me their story, and I was amazed because glasses aren't something that you normally think about going to the web for. Like there's a lot of things you'll do, but it's like glasses are like, I got to try a bunch of pairs on. I got to see what they look like. I got to see how they fit. If I'm a gamer, I got to see how my headset's going to feel with them on. Like it's not something like you normally would do. And then I talked to them, and I was like, wow, this is like revolutionary. Like this is seriously changes the way people buy.
I'm really. What do they do? I'm so curious now. What is it?
So here's what they do. Seriously. So you go to the website, it's warbyparker.com, and they've got tons of great glasses, men and women, all kinds of. They got sunglasses. They even have a monocle. I really want to get the monocle.
You need to though. You'd have to learn to grip 2 monocles with your face.
So they have all these really cool, stylish frames. They come in different, like, you know, matte black, or you know, you can look at them and then switch different styles of them. There's just all this stuff. Here's where it gets really cool. So you pick out 5 pair of glasses online, and check it out. They even have a way for you to take your picture on your webcam and then try all these glasses on screen before you pick them. How awesome, right?
That's great.
Then you pick 5 pair of glasses that you think are going to look good on you. You make an account. You pick those 5 pair. This is no joke. I couldn't believe this when they told me this. They take a credit card and they don't charge you. They charge you like 90 cents to make sure that you're a human being. And then they send you in the mail those 5 pair of glasses. Charge you nothing.
Wow.
And I got this in the mail like 2 days ago. And I've got the 5 pair of glasses that I tried out. And it's a home try-on kit. You sit home, you try them on, you take pictures, you see what they look like. I think I'm going to go with these. These are the ones I think I'm going to go with, these matte black ones. And then these, so they don't have prescriptions in them. They're just clear. And then you pick the ones you want. You drop these back in. All the shipping is covered. They send you the return slips to ship this thing back. You don't pay any shipping whatsoever. You give them your prescription, and then they ship you back the pair of glasses. And the frames with lenses, with all the coatings and all that stuff, start at $95. And almost all of them are $95.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
That's great.
That's for
Only-
like a single focus lens of like the one focal length. That's not for bifocals, varifocals.
I don't believe it's bifocals. I don't know. I'm sure if you go on the website, there's probably a little more information on there, but it's super cool.
But that's insanely cheap considering you paid $300.
It's insanely cheap, and oh, another thing, I'm not even getting the build. So I was like, I was really curious to see like, how are these things going to be made? Like, what's the quality and feel? No joke, these are 1,000 times better quality than these pair that I bought from LensCrafters. No joke. Like the arms feel great. They're like sturdy. They have a great weight, but they're awesome. Check it out. All right, Olivia's like, what else is it? I know this is going on. One more thing. There's one more thing that's I have to tell you because it's freaking awesome. For every pair of glasses you buy from Warby Parker, they give a pair to somebody in need who can't afford glasses.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow,
that's cool.
That's
really-
That's great.
I was actually looking at chat where everyone's going, "What? How much? StarTAC? What is this? Where is this?"
I mean,
no,
do they
I
sell
know.
monocles?
I know. I
Like,
know.
I wasn't born. I was just like, wow.
Well,
It's crazy.
and-
They've given over 500,000 pairs of glasses away to
That's
people
great.
who are in need.
That's
It's revolutionizing the eyewear industry.
That's awesome. Well, and Gary, as a long time, I've worn glasses pretty much my entire life, and now contacts. But you know, it's so difficult when you go into the store to find a good pair of frames. And that's one of the toughest parts. And it sounds like they're making it really easy. So
I bought 5. I have these 5 pair here, and I'm gonna have a super hard time. Like I'm probably gonna have to buy more than one pair because I don't. And that's the other cool thing is they're so affordable.
You could have got 3.
Like
right.
they've got like I could have bought 3 pair of these, and they've got like different. They've got like blue ones and stylish ones, like maybe for the summer and different outfits and stuff. They're awesome.
We need to put a link in chat room. We need to tell me the links we can type.
Give
in
the
chat room.
website. Do
well,
it.
here it is. If you go to warbyparker.com/gamebreaker, not only is all of that $95, the whole 99 yards, you also, and this is only available to Gamebreaker people, go into warbyparker.com/gamebreaker. You're going to get free 3-day shipping on your prescription pair as well. So you pay no shipping on the home kit when it comes to you. You pay no shipping when you send the home kit back to Warby Parker, and you're going to get free 3-day shipping back to you with your prescriptions. You could talk about those level 90s all day. I could talk about Warby Parker all day.
That is it's amazing. That's an amazing service. So you
There's
just
more to
literally-
their story.
You go to your optician, you get your prescription, you ignore the woman shouting at you, and you leave, and you basically go home and send it off to these guys.
And just so people know, it'll tell you on the site, but if most people I think that wear glasses know this. I didn't know this guy just got glasses, but they put your prescription on the inside arm of your glasses. That's where they put it. That's where your prescription is. So you just need that number. You put that number in on your account, and that's how you know how to make your lenses. Boom, 3 days later, you got like better glasses. I'm ready to throw these things away. I'm gonna get like 3 or 5 pairs. So they're awesome, and there's more to the story.
Yep.
The story is incredible. Like it's really an incredible story, and it's super cool. Check it out. Go over to warbyparker.com/gamebreaker. That's the URL you want to use. You'll get free 3-day shipping. Check it out, and really the home try-on thing is just it's an awesome experience. It's just phenomenal. Like I'm never going to another eyeglass place again. All right. Next up on the show, so we got let's see. We got some interesting rating changes coming with the 6.0 pre-patch. So lead design encounter designer Ian Hazakostas has confirmed that the Warlords raid changes will come with patch 6.0 and not the release of the expansion.
Yeah.
So
this is pretty common.
This means that Flex will become normal mode. I think we've gone through this, but I'm going to go through the flowchart again.
Mm-hmm.
Flex will become normal mode. Normal is going to become heroic, and also flexible, and cross realm. And that's going to be what? Allowing groups of 10 to 25 players with Flex.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest change is going to be heroic, which now will be referred to as mythic, meaning it's 20-man only. We've talked about this. Are we all in agreement that this is like a really good change? Like, the changes to Flex and normal mode are good changes, particularly at this point in the expansion.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
Particularly at this point in the expansion. Like, I can't remember, like for you, Pat, with Convert to Raid, this just must be like, yes, this gives us so much more flexibility, particularly like normal modes as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be, it's really cool actually, because I mean, as we talked about in the top part of the show, that Blizzard is really making it nice and easy for you to just kind of play with friends. And this is another one of those reasons, and I'm so excited to see this finally come to fruition for 6.0 whenever that lands. It's going to be, a couple of months probably before the expansion, right? So yeah, it's going to be cool. So we'll have Flex for normals, and for heroics, and then we have that 20-man mythic. The 20-man mythic is a little tricky, I think, initially for those 10-man teams, for those heroic 10-man teams right now. They're going to be building their team, so that's going to be weird, but I think that they'll be able to get over it fairly quickly.
Yeah, I think it's. I basically think like the normal mode change is fantastic. The flex, it remains flex. Cool. Particularly normal being cross realm. Like for my EU guild, that's a huge deal because it just means that they can like, and particularly my guild is basically normal stroke heroic. Like at this point they're moving into heroic Siege of Orgrimmar. They're they're just picking off a few bosses here and there. Like they're not super hardcore or anything like that. But it's like, because of Mythic coming, if they want to do that, they need 20. And like they now, like the thing which they're feeling is bad for them is that like on Tuesday, because EU, on Tuesday they'd be able to do heroic whatever they're up to at that point. Wednesday they won't. Like that is sort of a hard cutoff. There's not that big leveling curve in the interim period. There's not that sort of, oh, well, it's okay, we'll build it up. We'll do this slowly but surely. We'll have a week of this, and we'll have all this time to adapt to it whilst people are leveling, and there's people coming back to the game because they're excited about Warlords, and this is going to be a great time to build up a new raid team. They're having to do it now when people are bored of raiding and bored of Siege of Orgrimmar if they want to continue with their heroic stroke mythic progression. And that's kind of, I can see like that it's definitely a good thing for flex. It's definitely a good thing for normal, but that's kind of sucky for 10-man guilds like mine.
Yeah. It definitely isn't the best thing, but the nice part about it is that it's coming with 6.0, so we've got some time on this. People can build up if they want to, and be able to try it out anyway before the expansion hits. So.
For sure, and I mean, like Pat was saying, like a moment ago, it is kind of common. Like they did this in advance with the lockout changes in like the 1025 separate lockout change, and like this is not a new thing, but it surprised me that they were making that change then. And the other thing that I want to know, which I haven't been able to find out anywhere yet, maybe you're more clued into this, Pat, because you're more PvE focused than me. Does this mean that Flex Siege of Orgrimmar, which becomes normal Siege of Orgrimmar, is no longer in wings?
Yeah, that part I don't know about. I think that they may take the wings part off of it, but they may also leave it in just for Siege of Orgrimmar, because the mechanic's already there, so why not just leave it?
Yeah.
So they're just basically calling it something different. So I think that for Siege they might leave it. For Siege they might leave it. But then for Warlords carry on and do the new thing. So
yeah, I know. I hope they do, because like that's going to really annoy people who are just like farming Garrosh to try and get that heirloom. But they're suddenly going to have to be like, in order to farm Garrosh, we need a lockout that's got the entire raid down in Flex, which is now called normal. It's just
why do you think they're doing it now instead of at the launch of the expansion?
The biggest reason is to test the system, really. I mean, I think that testing is going to be really key, and testing it on live is going to be really key. So they're going to be taking a look at numbers, making sure that it works, making sure that people, kind of working out maybe some of the bugs that people are finding with it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, test before that new expansion hits.
Yeah, it probably is an element of that. And like they want to test it, particularly the Mythic, I guess, but I suppose Mythic is the one that's kind of changing the least, and sort of like as far as tech goes, at least. Like they're just bringing the numbers down. Like I'm not a programmer. I'm not pretending to know a ton about this, but I feel like Mythic is the one that's changing the least. But I guess they want to find out that stuff is broken now, rather than when everyone's doing the world first race.
Well, and probably find out where that level of difficulty needs to be, fine-tune those bosses, and figure out where they were and where they need to be for these different difficulty levels. And at the same time, they might be looking at LFR as well, to try to make that into what Ghostcrawler called tourist mode.
Yeah.
So they might be doing that as well. You never know.
Who knows? I hadn't even thought about that.
Right. So they're going to be taking a look at all these different difficulty levels and really trying to fine-tune them for the amount of players that you can bring, and make sure that, what heroics are now can be brought into the flexible era. So
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I think. I mean, like someone mentions it in chat room, and it's a valid point. Like maybe there's some kind of tech thing that means that they like kind of like when you remember when you bought Mists, like you actually you did all the downloading at the point where you got into 504, and like once 5.1, once Mists actually happened, there was that whole seamless thing. And we were all like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, you guys. It's not going to work. It's like, oh, it worked. What?
right.
Like, we were all sat there. We're like, oh, suddenly there's an airship in the sky over Stormwind. I guess we're in Mists of Pandaria right now. So there wasn't a huge download. So maybe that's the same thing. Like, they have to put it in that initial 6.0 bit of data and stuff. And they can't just be like, boop, switch, done.
Yep. And I see some questions in chat room, so I'll just kind of clear it up. We've never 6.0 is the pre-release. It's the pre-patch for the next expansion. The expansion would be 6.1, really, right? Or 6.0 point something. It's usually 6.1. It's usually a 0.1. So that's what you can expect as we move forward. The 6.0 will actually happen before the expansion is released.
Yeah. And they've actually confirmed that as well, just to back up what Pat's saying. They've actually pretty much, I don't think it's like a hard confirmation any more than the season changes about launch of 547. It's going to be around a month, of 6.0, and then they'll go into the actual proper Warlords.
Yeah,
so
and that 6.0 will actually contain more than just the rating stuff. It's also going to contain all of the stuff for the squish and everything like that. So there's going to be a lot more for them to look at other than just raid sizes and whether or not the flexible thing works for what we're calling normals now, what will be heroics in Warlords. Yeah. So, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on that they're going to be able to look at and really kind of test out and figure out what the mechanics are.
Yeah, so we've got all of the ability changes and everything like that will be coming in 6.0. Yeah. So the stat squish will be coming, the ability squish will be coming. So not only will you have to deal with converting your 10-man heroic guild into a 20-man heroic guild, you'll have fun killing bosses with all your abilities changed. It's going to be awesome time for raiding. But hey, we used to it.
Let's do some viewer questions. If you guys have questions for the legendary crew, send them to submit@gamebreaker.tv. That is the URL, not the URL, the email address you can send them to. Mixing up my URLs, my emails, my tubes, internets. Submit@gamebreaker.tv is the email address you can send your questions to. And if you have video questions, record yourself up on YouTube. Keep it to like 30, 60 seconds. Shoot it over to us at that email address, and we'll play it on the show. All right, first up this week from Toby Ryan Klein. He says, who do you guys think the end boss will be for WoD?
WoD.
A lot of Blizzard peeps just died a little bit inside when I said that. And why? Who do you guys think the end boss will be for WoD and why?
It's going to be freaking Garrosh again. You can see this coming, Blizzard. I can see this coming. I'm going to be so mad. It's going to be freaking Garrosh. If it's Garrosh again, I'm going to flip every table in Southern California.
Wow.
It can't be.
Wow.
There's no way.
That's a lot of tables.
God, I hope not.
No.
I was entirely joking, but my God, I hope not.
But I'm sure chat room, there's people in chat room just like freaking the F out. Be like, is she serious? It's coming on. Oh my God.
Well, and I think they've said that Garrosh is going to be in the introduction part and kind of bring us into Warlords of Draenor, not WoD. Although I like calling it WoD just to piss people off. So yeah, it's not going to. He's going to be there for the introductory part, but then he's going to go off by himself and be a little crybaby or something. I don't know exactly what's going on with that, but I'm sure that the story guys are working on that.
Yeah, someone in chat room says Siege of Orgrimmar was just a setback.
I like that.
Can you imagine?
That's good.
Oh my God.
It's going to be Illidan again. It's going to be Illidan again.
It's going to be every boss we've faced in the past. Because time travel, you guys.
Yes,
it's going to be Bosh.
It's going to be Horde mode. Boss Horde mode. They all just...
It's going to be Onyxia again. It's going to be the third take of Onyxia that we've seen. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. Love that.
Oh,
all right, next up, this one is from Philip Johnson. He asks, should there be a limit to how many level 90s you can have per account?
There's already the character limit.
If they're $50 or $60 a pop, no.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Blizzard don't care about
I'm
how many you
assuming.
got.
Exactly. I'm assuming he means the bought ones, not just like there is a limit. There is already a limit to the sheer quantity of level 90s you can have on an account because there's a limit to the number of how many characters you can have on an account. So I'm going to say he's assuming the bought ones. And no, I don't think there should be. I don't see any reason why they're like, if you have the money to buy yourself 20, what is the character limit? 55?
50.
50.
I think.
Where
I
got
think.
55 from? Is it, maybe they add it, maybe they up it to 50.
So you're saying no limit.
Actually,
no limit?
maybe they'll add it. Maybe they'll add in more now that it's by 90s. Yeah, let's add in more. Let's do 100. Let's do 1,000. It's fine. If somebody has more dollars than cents, let's let them pay for it. Let's go. Come on.
I know people who spent $1,500 on Hearthstone.
$1,500? Wow. What?
Wow.
Yeah.
You have way too many glasses on. You have
Should
way
there
too
be a
many
limit to
glasses
how
on.
many glasses Gary could have per account?
That's a better question.
There shouldn't be a limit. There shouldn't be a limit on 90s, I don't think. Like, why would they do that? Why would they shoot themselves in the foot with people giving them hopefully only $35 per 90?
What do you think, Pat? You think they should have a limit?
Yes, I think that there should be a limit of only one. No, of course not. Let's let people level up characters or buy characters or whatever. It's fine. It's all good.
Yeah.
If you want to spend the time in WoW, let's spend the time in WoW. Let's do it.
Join us. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Join us. It's lovely.
There you go.
I feel like you could put more glasses on. I don't think you're trying hard enough.
I need a couple pairs. Pat KRANE, follow him on the Twitter at Pat KRANE, PATKRANE. Make sure to come over to Gamebreaker TV on Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday mornings to watch Convert to Raid live right here on the twitch.tv/Gamebreaker TV. Olivia D. Grace. Follow her on Twitter at Olivia D. Grace. And always right here on The Legendary on Thursday nights. We do the show live every Thursday at 8 Pacific. We're all back. It's all good. We'll be back next week for some more World of Warcraft talk. Blizzard, can you give us some news? We can't talk about like speculation dates for another hour next week. We kind of did our best job this week. We need something. Give us something. Come on. Oh, Linka, break PvP or just do something. I got something to yell at.